Sometimes these days, 30-year-old men, right? Men who are definitely adults, they're not 21 or 18, they're 30 years old, and they're still dressing like high schoolers. Have you seen these guys? They're wearing like saggy pants, like, yeah, this is what we did in school when I was in middle school. Put our pants down, and then we walk like this. Right, like, what's up with these guys? What's up with these guys? Do you realize you are old enough to have children? I don't understand it. And I've seen 40-year-old men do it too. When do you decide that it's time to grow up? When do you decide that it's time to grow up? I guess you don't have to. You don't have to be considered a grown-up before you're ready. But at a certain point, it starts looking funny. I find it funny. And then there's some people who act like it's not even happening though. Like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's normal. Pop culture. It's still a part of pop culture. Right? And what about illiteracy? You got some people who are adults. It's like they are in second grade literacy-wise. I was watching a video on my computer with a friend once, and the guy was speaking another language, so captions popped up. He's like, oh wait, pause it. And then he's like, the something, something, something. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And these people complain about the 1%. Oh, the 1% of Americans out there who are the elite business class of people are the ones in control. Yeah, maybe because they're the 1% of people who can read. I don't want to sound like an elitist. Let's talk about women, alright? Something interesting I've noticed about women is with their vaginas and how a woman's vagina will be depending on her body type. You notice that with different body types, there's different vagina types. Like a fat girl, she's got a very pillowy, like, vagina. On the inside, it's like all fatty. But a skinny girl will have a vagina that is all hollowed out like a cave, right? It's just vacant in there. And it's so funny because like most guys who try to have like these high standards, like, oh, I would never sleep with a fat girl. Bleh. But then you've got these guys who are like going around with these fat girls like, yeah, I got a bunch of fat girls, because fat girls actually feel a lot better. And it's like this secret that these guys have found out. As soon as they find out it feels way better to have sex with a fat girl, they're like, oh yeah, pimping the fat girls. Right? You've seen these guys, they're not bad looking guys. They're like, oh yeah, I've been with 100 girls. Most of them were fats. It's better that way. Then you're like, huh? Until you do it. Until you have sex with a fat girl, then you're like, I'm never fucking a skinny girl again. I will say that I am. But you're secretly going off with fat girls, right? Or sometimes, you'll sneak a fat girl in here and there, right? You'll get like presentable girls to go out with you, but then you're sneaking in. You're sneaking in fat girls right here and there. And it's so funny. Like, I had a girlfriend complain once because I had sex with a girl who was fatter than her. She had lost a ton of weight. I was having sex with this other girl who was fatter than her. And she was like, you know, I'm really glad that I lost all of this weight for you to just go and fuck some fat girl. I'm just like, sorry. There's a secret that I can't tell you about fucking fat girls. It just feels better, right? And these are some of the horrible thoughts that I have that are somehow comical, because few of you out there probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, I fucked a fat girl once, and I do not regret it. But enough of that, because I am really not some sick, twisted, evil bastard. The fat girls versus skinny girls. Skinny girls act like they're better than fat girls. Like, I am skinny, look at me. It's like, yeah. But when I'm fucking you, it feels like my penis is fucking a cave. Hollow cave. What? And you're not very well lubricated. Fat girls are always well lubricated. But we're not going to go back to that subject.
Oh.
Okay? The person who is filming me right now, just see, you're hearing her unstifled reactions to my...
Oh, they're stifled.
Deprived. But a lot of times, I'm talking to someone, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you ever talk to someone and you're like, how are you even alive? How do you survive? How does a person with your mental capacity survive? Like, doesn't that go against social Darwinism? Like, doesn't that go against natural selection? Some of the people who actually survive these days, you got these people who are such dumbasses. You know, they're just like hanging out in the bar, like, right? Or what about these old men? You go to the bar, you can't get out of a conversation with them because every time there's a silence in the conversation, they're like, let me tell you something. It's never anything significant, but when they say, let me tell you something, they act like they're about to say the most important thing ever said. Let me tell you something, boy. When I was your age, we could get everything we wanted at the grocery store for a nickel. Times have changed. And let me tell you something. Every time you think a thought has ended and you can get free, there's another one. And let me tell you something, alright? Bread is not what it used to be. We used to have bread 3 meals a day. You could live on it. Nowadays, you can't. And let me tell you something, right? It's always like it's almost important what they're saying, but it just falls short. You know, I don't want to be one of those old people. I don't want to be one of those old people. Something happens to you after being alive that long where you're just like, everything is pointless. And you just start babbling. And I'm just talking to some people and I'm like, how is it that you are alive? What could you possibly do to sustain life when you're so dumb? I don't know. But you know, it's funny because it doesn't really matter to me what men do that is stupid because I don't have to have sex with them. Right? Who I do have to have sex with is women because I'm heterosexual. Now, if you're a man who is homosexual, I'm sure it matters to you more what other men do. You're like, give a shit what bitches do. I'm not fucking them. Right? But I'm having sex with women. And that makes it harder for me than if I was having sex with men. Because I feel like there's more wrong with women. But you ever wonder, like, who really has it worse? Men or women with all the shit that we have to do? I mean, women don't, I don't think they realize what it's like to carry around a penis. It's all dangling around. We got these fragile balls. These 2 balls, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why isn't there just one of them? Why isn't there one up in there, like, flat or something against the skin? Like, why are they out there dangling, swinging around, like, doing, doing, doing? You know, one of them can just bump into something and be like, oh, fuck, my ball. You know, your girlfriend's like, that hurts, right? Guess I know where to kick now if I get mad at you. Right? As soon as a woman finds out that it hurts a man to get kicked in the balls, she's like, oh, now I know his secret weakness. Boing! Evil mode. Have you ever been kicked in the balls by a woman? You can't kick them back. It doesn't hurt them. And it's not socially acceptable. It's socially acceptable for a woman to kick a man in the balls. People will see that in public and be like, that's funny. Because it must hurt. Or they're like, he probably deserves it. Right? So who do you think has it worse? Men or women? And why did God make us with these dangling things? Like, was it supposed to be comical? Like, look at this thing. That's so funny. We'll teach them a spiritual lesson by making them drag along this thing in between their legs. You know, like, it's the most hazardous place to fucking put your penis and your testicles, like, where it might be scissored, like, you know? 2 balls that can just knock conveniently into one another, right?